Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and today we are going to dive into the red cards. Just going to go over them real quick so that I can then move on to the yellow cards, then we can start breaking down decks, you feel me? So, let's actually just talk about a couple of these things real quick. Before we jump into it, as always, think about hitting that subscribe button, that notification button, as we continue to pump out more content for Vermilion Bloodline and whatever else comes out after that. You know what I'm saying? And then soon we'll be starting to get into the deck list. I might try to put up some testing videos. Just a lot of stuff, really. So, moving right into the cards. Red, right off the top, Gogeta. Auto, when this card attacks, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Look up to the top 7 cards of your deck. Add up to 1 red extra card with an energy cost of 1 amongst them from to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Auto, once per turn, when you activate a union skill, draw 1 card, and then you have Awaken. When your life is at 4 or less, you may switch up to 1 of your cards to active mode. Then flip this card over. So, flipping it over, you've got SSB Gogeta, Prophet of Demise. Double Strike auto, when this card attacks, draw 1 card, and this card gets plus 5,000 power for the battle. Auto, once per turn, when you activate a union skill, draw 1 card. So, ins and outs, because now we have 2 Gogeta cards in red. I mean, they both have their advantages. This guy allows you to be a bit more defensive in the fact that he can help you search your after images, your violent rays. He just helps you get to your defensive cards in red, and that's kind of cool. The other thing he does is he turns your unisons into not as negs, because normally, you know, you go down on 2 cards for the unison fusion and then you go down 1 more card for the card you're playing. Well, this guy's going to replace that 1 more card, so you're really going down on only 2 cards, and depending on which cards you're going down on, it's not necessarily a neg. Well, at least not more than -1. Like the new TP Vegeta and Goku are ridiculously good for the deck. Vegeta helps you fix, Vegeta helps you fix your Gogeta chain by, you know, searching the top 7, but then discarding 1 if you choose to take 1. But Goku is straight awakening. He just scoops up a card from your life, puts it in your hand, and it's optional too. So there we have that there. I believe both this one and the old one gain double strike. There's just in different ways. This guy will have double strike no matter what, static double strike, and that's very nice. But the other one allows you to drop a Vegeta or a Goku, or drop a red card and turn it on and off, which can also be very nice. The only thing though is that in terms of unconditional draw, the first Gogeta kind of has it. That's the only issue. He is definitely the king of unconditional draw. You just need to see a Goku or Vegeta and just pitch it, and you'll get 2 cards off the top of your deck plus 1 life. So that's absolutely nasty. Moving past that though, you do have the fact that this guy's Gogeta on the front and the back. So if you're going for the vanilla rush beatdown kind of deck, very, very aggressive, you would be using this leader, you know, because this leader is going to be able to be Gogeta on the front, which is going to allow you to activate that 1-drop red card and get stuff rolling. So moving on to the next leader, we've got Broly. Activate main once per turn, add 1 card from your life to your hand. This card gains critical for the turn. We all know how that feels with Vegeta. But the next one says, add up to 1 red extra card with an energy cost of 1 from your deck to your hand. Shuffle your deck, then negate this skill for the game. Awaken. When your life is at 4 or less, you may switch up to 2 of your energy to active mode. Flip this card over. Okay, so this guy is a tank on his own on the front side, but then we're going to flip it over. Permanent, if you have a red Broly VR card in play, this card gains critical. Auto, when this card attacks, draw 1 card, and this card gains 5,000 power for the battle. And then auto, choose 1 card in your hand, discard it. When 1 of your red Broly VR cards is removed from your battle area by the opponent's skill or KO'd, choose up to 1 Broly VR card with energy cost of 4 or less in your hand and play it. So, there's a couple things to go off about this, because this guy is essentially the spiritual predecessor, in my opinion, to Green Broly. The Green starter deck Broly that we had, our first Broly VR leader. On his friend's side, the Self-Awakening is definitely ridiculously good, okay? That's just monstrous. And the fact that it applies critical pressure early in the game is nothing to scoff at. Then you activate main, and you take your planet Vampa, which we'll get to later, from the deck to the field, unless all your Vampas are in life, which is, you know, tough titty. But that's also very powerful. And then the fact that he's going to awaken by untapping 2 energy is just a combo extender. So going back to his backside, as long as you have part of your chain on board, any part of your chain from start to finish, this Broly is going to have critical. That is monstrous. 20 critical pokes are nothing to be scoffed at. Like, again, like, it's just straight pressure. And then, unlike the green Broly, you know, when you kill the chain, it gets a little hard to restart it. You know, you have to have the right pieces in line, and sometimes you can put your entire game in the trash can. With this guy, you only have to have one of 3 cards or so, like the TP, the 1-drop, or the 4-drop on board or in your hand, for you just discard another card and drop that card, and your chain still has a chance of surviving. So yeah, I mean, this leader is a very, very powerful leader. Moving on to the next card, we have Gotenks Earth-Shattering Might. Auto, once per turn, when you activate a union skill, add a marker to this card. Activate main, draw 1 card. And then that's a +0. And then -5, activate main, this card gains 15,000 power, double strike, and dual attack. So, the pros of this card, he's going to give you a card in your hand every turn that you can keep him alive. And then also he goes up by using using Union Fusion. So he can only really go up once per turn, of course, like most of them, and then other copies. But at the same time, this card gains plus 15,000 power, double strike, and dual attack. That makes this guy on a -5 a 30k dual attack double striker, and that is monumental. However, the only thing though is I feel currently I'm still tweaking some builds because I want to do a video, show you guys some basic skeletons of a Gogeta deck, using the archetype at least. I feel that this Gotenks turn 2 is kind of a weird, awkward turn in this deck. Like, I'm not sure if I want to devote all of my energy to this guy unless I'm going to awaken in the same turn. But, you know, it is what it is. We'll see about it. So, that's just pretty much that. This guy has a major effect. Just not quite sure if he slots well into the deck that he's supposed to slot with, but we'll see in future videos about that. You got Gotenks Earth-Shattering Might, the SPR. Just get a look at that art real quick, and then we'll just keep going. Kale, Savage Berserker, Auto. When this card is played, look up to the top 3 cards of your deck, add up to 1 mono red sand card amongst them to your hand, and then place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Once per turn. When one of your red battle cards activates a swap skill, add a marker to this turn. Then -7. Activate main, choose up to 1 of your opponent's leader cards, and it gets minus 15,000 power for the battle. Then choose up to 1 mono red battle card with an energy cost of 5 or less and a swap skill in your hand and play it. This was 100% made for the Broly deck. It's just pretty freaking wild. You will be able to, with the chain, easily get this thing up high. It may not go up to 7, but it's going to go up high. It is only 5,000, so it can get swung on pretty easily, but I mean, the chain is going to do what it does and get this Kale up pretty fast. Also note that while it's only top 3, this is one of the few cards that are in the deck that can search the secret rare if you choose to play it. So don't get that twisted. That's a pretty good deal on that end too. But then if it's ult gets off, you're going to basically start another chain, and that's detrimental, and you're going to make your opponent's leader at 0-0, so pretty much any swing's going through. It's a very, very, very strong momentum swing. Reddit Sand Youth is just another super combo, pretty standard, going around. The tuck 1 card, draw 2 cards. Then you've got SSB Goku Technique Unchained, which is 3-drop. Activate main, 1 red, choose 1 skillless Goku BR card with an energy cost of 1 in your battle area, return it to your owner's hand. Play this card from your hand, it goes up to 20,000 for the turn. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Activate main, bounce this guy back to the hand. More of these effects where you can end up playing more cards and bouncing them back to keep your fodder. Then you've got Vanilla Son Goku, just a 10k. Moving down, you've got Son Goku Sand Youth. He's the rotation of blockers that if you have a correct color unison, you draw a card. And you get SSB Vegeta Technique Unchained. Same exact thing. He's exactly what the Goku was. You have a skillless Vegeta card, Vegeta BR with a 1 cost, and you can bounce it to your hand for 1 red. This guy comes out, gains 10,000, going up to 20,000. Activate main, return to your hand. And you got the Vanilla Vegeta. Then moving forward, you've got Vegeta Sand Youth. If your leader card is red, when this card is played from your hand, choose up to 1 of your red unison cards and add a marker to it. We're not really trying to use these because frankly, I mean, they don't go, well, I mean, yes, they're Sun characters. Wow, they're not even youth. They're not even youth. Never mind. I thought they were gonna say Son Goku or Son Vegeta youth. So you could still use Son Goku BR, and then this kid Son Vegeta or Vegeta BR, and then somehow fuse to Gogeta with these two drops. All right, well that makes sense. That definitely doesn't break lore. Whatever. So we're gonna go on to the next card, SSB Gogeta Technique Unleashed. Double Strike, EX Evolve, Mono Red Gogeta BR with an energy cost of 5. This card can't be KO'd. Goes in line with the old ones from Destroyer Kings. Auto, when this card evolves, or when a card evolves with this card, choose up to one of your red unison cards, add 2 markers to it, and then you can't play battle cards for the turn. Auto, when this card or one of your opponent's cards attacks, you may choose one of your opponent's cards and gain the minus 20,000 power for the battle. If you do, negate the skill for the turn. Very, very, very good. The only downside about this card, actually I'll start with the sugar first. Not being able to be KO'd means he's going to survive until the next turn unless you die, but that's a very high possibility. Then you've got your fact that when he comes in, he can swing in minus 20,000 to something, and if something swings, he can do that too. That's a very powerful effect, and barrier is really the only way to get around that unless your characters are that thick. Unfortunately for this set, well, unfortunately for this card, a lot of cards are indeed that thick. There are a lot of 30, 35Ks in this set. So, I mean, don't expect this just to be a wiper of cards, but it is what it is. Now, the thing that holds this card back is it says when a card evolves into this card, choose up to one of your, oh, not that part, sorry. You can't play battle cards for the turn after you play this. That is painful because you can't go into the Broly SS4 secret rare by taking a 35K mono red sand off the board and plopping it on there. This is one of the 3 cards in the game that can be sacked for that secret rare, and you can't do it on the turn this guy comes down. And then another thing is you definitely also have to kind of keep in mind that you can't even play the Destroyer King's 8-drop on this guy. Like, I would love to, but you can't, and it would be wonderful if you could, because then you could have a strategy where you ramp up to this guy and then you just immediately, if their board is clear, hit the next Gogeta and burn them for 2 life, with making this deck a potential turn 3 kill. But instead, what we have is this not doing that, and that is a little saddening. So, cool. Then the SPR for this is absolute fire though. So if this deck can work, if somebody can make this work, this SPR is beautiful. Next card, Gogeta, Fusion of the Gods. A little pretentious with the naming, but cool. Deflect, that's important. Union Fusion, 3 red. Draw 2 cards, red Son Goku BR and red Vegeta BR. Permanent, this card cannot be KO'd. Auto, if your leader is red, when this card is played, choose up to one of your red unison cards, add a marker to it, then choose all of your opponent's battle cards and they get minus 15,000. Huge effect, monumental. If there is any card you're going to tap out on turn 3 in this deck, it is this card. This is wonderful. Actually beautiful. And then it goes into the 6-drop we were just talking about. So next, we're gonna kind of go backwards on the Broly chain. SS Broly Unlimited Power. He's a 6-drop, unique, critical, and double strike. This man already is a threat on a 35K body, no less. If your leader card is red, when this card is played, choose up to one of your red unison cards, add 2 markers to it, then choose up to 3 cards in your opponent's hand and send them to the warp. At the end of your opponent's next turn, they add all cards sent to the warp by the skill to their hand. Monstrous. This is a huge effect. It's a huge end to the chain. The only downside is that when you see the card before this guy can only come out on your turn 3 or your turn 4, depending on if your opponent went first or second. So that's a bit of a limiter, but we're gonna keep rolling. And it also is neat to know that this guy can come out, and as long as your opponent has the 3 energy that allows this guy to come out, you can immediately go into your Broly, your SS4 secret rare. So don't let that slide by. Now, the next card is SS Broly Combat Evolution. Critical, swap 6, 1 red. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, or you have 4 or more energy, mono red Broly BR with an energy cost of 6. Cool. If your leader card is red, when this card is played, choose up to one of your red unison cards, add a marker to it, then your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and sends it to the warp. Kind of a punisher. They get to choose the worst card in their hand and drop it. At the end of your opponent's next turn, you add that card back. So you can see that the top end you choose blindly, and then the lower end they get to choose. But this guy is critical single strike 30k. So again, critical pressure is monstrous. They don't have to invest much to get over your leader, so they don't have to invest anything really to get over your leader. If you swing a 30k, you got to burn a super combo and a little more if you want to block it. So then you've got Broly, Power of the Great Ape. Swap 5, 1 red, mono red Broly BR with an energy cost of 5. So he goes up the ladder. You're seeing how the ladder gets built. This guy has Servant though, so he's gonna swing at 20k, but it's 20k without critical, and so he's a little less, ominous. But if your leader card is red, when this card is played, choose up to one of your red unison cards, add a marker to it, then your opponent chooses one card in their hand and sends it to the warp. Okay. Then you've got Broly, Bonafide Sand, and he's just swap 4, 1 red, mono red color, or mono red BR, Broly with an energy cost of 4. Yeah, again, he's gonna be a 19k. Certain. So it just is what it is. When this card is played though, you get to choose up to 1 red Paragus BR with an energy cost of 1 in your hand and play it. So let's shoot out the Paragus and we'll see that soon. Next you got Broly Sand Youth, swap 3. If your leader card is a red Broly BR, mono red, yeah, you can just swap. So this is the chain. That is the entire chain from top to bottom. And then auto, when this card is played, you can't play copies of this card for the turn. And then if you have a Ba in play, he gains 11,000, going to a 15k 1-drop swing if Ba's in play. That's neat. And you'll start to see how Ba can get in play super early in a minute. Now you have Ba, Broly's best friend. He's a blocker, and auto, when this card is played, add up to 1 mono red Broly card with an energy cost of 5 or less from your deck to your hand and shuffle it. Fixer. Sorry for that yawn. But yeah, it's a fixer. So moving on, you got Golemite, Beast of the Planet Vampa. Blocker, if your leader card is red, it's your turn. When this card is used in a combo, if your opponent has 3 or less energy, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 30,000 power or more and KO it. So this can work against the mirror depending. This can definitely work against black. 100% against the Dark Broly deck. Next, you got Paragus, Oath of Vengeance. Unique, he's got Overlord. And yeah, you can place one of your battle cards with the servant skill at the bottom of your deck, draw a card. Kind of weird because the servant cards in the deck are cards you want to swap into, so that's really not going to get over much. Auto, when this card is played, look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, choose 1 red Broly BR card or 1 red Unison card with a specified cost of 1 amongst them and shuffle them into your hand. So, I mean, we're out here looking at KOs and whatnot. This is good. And you've got Paragus, New Ambitions, Overlord, and choose 1 card in your hand, discard it. When this card is placed into your drop area by hand or from your hand by a skill, add up to 1 red Broly BR card with energy cost of 4 or less from your drop area to your hand. He's recursion and he's circumstantial recursion. Enough said. Chilai, Trusted Friend, Blocker, activate main battle, 2 red, choose 1 red Broly in your battle area, return it to the owner's hand, play this card from your hand. Okay, it's a blocker. And I get it, in theme it's supposed to be saving Broly, but it's not cost efficient. And yeah, there's just more things you can do with 2 energy than putting a blocker on the field in exchange for losing your chain. Limo, Trusted Friend, same cost, activate main battle, choose 1 red Broly card in your battle area, return it to the owner's hand. Oh, okay, so this guy's not a blocker. Yeah, Chilai had more reason to be played than this guy. We're moving on. Bardock, Strategic Mind, Deflect, 3 cost. If your leader card is mono red, when this card is played, choose up to 1 of your red unison cards and add 3 markers to it. I'm sure one day we're gonna get a unison that just breaks the game when it ults, and this card will be something that you'll actually want to use, but today is not that day. So for now, it's just really costly, and there are other cards like your Gogeta and Broly chains that will ramp up your red unisons that are in these decks at least. Nappa, Elite Warrior. Well, it is funny to have a Nappa card with hair. He don't do much. He's just the basic super combo that they're redoing in the block. Then you got 7-star Dragon Ball Parasitic Darkness, or 7-star Ball Parasitic Darkness. Permanent, this card gains Dark Dragon Ball in all areas. Activate battle. Choose 1 of your cards, gains plus 5,000 power for battle. Activate main, choose 1 black Broly card with a energy cost of 1 in your battle area and place it into its owner's drop area. Then you get to play up to 1 Dark Broly from your deck or drop area and shuffle your deck if you look through it. This is specifically for the Dark Broly black deck. I don't know why it's in the red color, but it is, so we're gonna keep going. Planet Vampa, field card. Activate main. Once per turn, if your leader card is a red Broly BR card, and you add 1 card from your life to your hand. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck and play up to 1 red Broly BR, Paragus BR, Ba BR, or Golem BR with a 5,000 power or less amongst them, and shuffle your deck. If you played this card, choose one card in your hand and discard it. Yes, this is a fixer of the highest priority, but playing Planet Vampa, you can literally take a life, play a Ba, and you still get to play your 1-drop, and your 1-drop is going to be able to, like, it goes off. It really just goes off in a beautiful way. Then you got Birth of a Super Warrior. Activate main. If your leader card is a red Gogeta BR card, choose one. Add up to one, or add to your hand up to one skillless Son Goku with an energy cost of 1, and then one skillless Vegeta with an energy cost of 1, then shuffle your deck. Or you can play or add to your hand up to 1. Yeah, so you can play or, yeah, it's just, it's really strong. So you can either play or add from your deck or your drop area. And it's really strong. You're either adding those 1Ks to the board, or you're pulling to your hand, so you can have fusion, or you can have more swings. But at the same time, you can also bring it from your drop area. So this card, you can pull it from your deck with the leader and then play it and then pull 2 more cards. That's maximum deck thinning right there. Now the only thing is though, if you play this card, you're gonna have to be playing the new Gogeta leader, or otherwise you will not be able to activate this card until your leader awakens, because the new Gogeta leader is Gogeta on the front and the back, where the old one is unfused on the back, or front, fused on the back. Next, you got one of the best cards coming out of this set for red, Violent Rays. Counterattack, if your leader card is red, negate the attack. You may choose one card in your hand, discard it. If you do choose one, your opponent cannot attack with battle cards with 20,000 power or more for the turn, or your opponent cannot attack with unison cards with 20,000 or power or more for the turn. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful effect. Either way though, I just wanted to let you know that is the end of red. I've already talked about the TP, so you see that there's cards in there that help both the Broly deck and the fusion deck, and I'm gonna be getting into those soon with the archetype breakdown. And then we are also looking at the secret rare that I just put up either earlier today or yesterday, depending on when this video goes live. I'm still kind of seeing, but red is in a weird space because I think the Broly deck is I think the Broly deck is actually pretty strong, and the secret rare added some juice to it, and the TP also added some juice to it. The Gogeta deck I think is as an archetype alone, I'm not sure if it can stand, but it definitely has some key pieces in there. It makes some really destructive like plays. So we're gonna see what it is. I'm definitely gonna try to put some stuff together, put it on camera for you guys. So I hope you guys liked the red reveal, and that leaves us for one more, you know, kind of show and tell, and that's going to be yellow. And after that, we'll start getting into the archetype breakdowns and deck cores / skeletons. So thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, think about hitting that subscribe button, trying to grow the channel, and yeah, I'm just going to be uploading anything I feel like about Dragon Ball Z right now. So with the new set, it's going to be a lot of this cards, but you know, there might be a Dokkan or Legends video around there somewhere. Been kind of on that free-to-play grind, playing around with the games, but it is what it is. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next time you decide to drop by Universe X. See ya.